Should I stay or should I go? This relationship is just good enough to keep me in, and yet I'm not happy. Boy, I'll tell you, as a therapist for several decades, you bump into this over and over and over again. Should I stay or should I go? First of all, what have you tried? So many people don't get more of what they want from their relationship because they stop trying. You're talking to Terry Real, the founder of Relational Life Work, Therapy, Training, Coaching, and I'm here to talk to you about how to live a relational life on this planet. If you are up at night tearing your hair out, wondering what to do, it's a big boat. And remember, just about 1 in 2 marriages in the West dissolve. And of the 2 out of 4 that remain, are they both happy? If you do what you learn to do in this anti-relational, individualistic, patriarchal culture, odds are you will not have a very happy relationship. So should I stay or should I go? First question is, what have you done to try and correct things, to try and get more of what you want and less of what you don't want? Have you taken your partner on? I am the author of Fierce Intimacy. Couples need to lean into each other and deal with what isn't happening, and most people don't. Let me say that again. Most couples stop taking each other on, stop telling each other the full truth. We tell ourselves that we're accepting, but really we're settling. And resentment builds, generosity dries up, sexuality and passion dries up. I say the first casualty when you don't take each other on is passion. If you want a juicy, passionate relationship, shake it up. If you want a juicy, passionate relationship, deal with each other. But to give couples their due, most of the people who back off of dealing with each other do so because when they've tried, it doesn't go very well. We don't have the skills in this culture to be able to confront one another with grace. So one of the first skills I want to teach you is standing up for yourself with love. It's the difference between saying, I don't like how you're talking to me, which is fair enough, and saying, honey, I want to hear what you have to say. Could you tone it down so I could hear you? One of the skills we teach is how to cherish your partner in the relationship and stand up for yourself at the same time. Virtually no one that walks into my office knows how to do that until they learn. In our culture, you either accommodate or you stand up for yourself, but you don't stand up for yourself and love your partner at the same time. So there's a skill set that works better than what you learned in that school of relationship called your family and by the culture at large. Learn these skills and apply them. You may do better getting listened to if you tell your partner, listen, this isn't working for me, honey. As a favor to me, would you do it this way rather than that way? I know you love me. Would you be willing to try that? That's one way of asking for what you want. This isn't working for me. I don't know what your problem is. You're doing the same thing with me that you did with your last relationship. It didn't work then. It's not going to work now, is another way of saying the same thing. Which of those two do you think is going to get you what you need? You're a team. The first thing that needs to change is your consciousness. This is not me versus you. We live together. The relational golden rule is, honey, what can I give you to empower you to give me more of what I want? So the first order of business is a serenity prayer. Do what you can, which means learn some more skilled ways of confronting your partner and trying to get more of what you want. If you can't get through to your partner, no matter how skilled you are, that is a signal to get some help. People always ask me, when do I know I need help? Well, when do you know you need help about anything? You know you need help when you can't do it yourself. Your little child needs help tying her shoes when she can't tie it herself. So you need help when you can't do it yourself. You need someone to help you get through to your partner when you're not getting through to your partner. This isn't rocket science. It's not that complicated. Drag that person into couples therapy. And my prejudice, of course, is I want you to go to a relational life therapist. Go to my website. There's a whole list of them. But you want somebody who's going to take your side, support you. And this is one of the distinguishing characteristics of relational life therapy. You're right, Mrs. Jones. Mr. Jones, she doesn't feel heard. You're going to lose her. Let's open your heart and we take sides. We support the unhappy partner and let the other partner work a little harder to be more pleasing. So first, try and lean in and get more of what you want by learning a more skilled way of doing it. Second, if no matter what you do, you're not getting through, get some help from a couples therapist and get a couples therapist who actually supports you and helps you. You may need to go to one or two until you find one that's actually helpful. And then if all that fails, if you ain't getting through and the therapist ain't getting through and this is what you've got, then you have to sit down and ask the question, should I stay or should I go? How do I answer that? Well, I have a tool. I have a tool for virtually everything. I call this a relational reckoning. Should I stay or should I go? The answer is a question that you ask yourself. And here's the question. Am I getting enough in this relationship to make grieving what I'm not getting worth my while? Let me say that again. Am I getting enough in this relationship to make the pain of what I'm not getting okay with me? And let me say something about the pain of what you're not getting. I want to say two things about it. One, it hurts. Our culture doesn't acknowledge it, doesn't teach us how to digest the imperfections of our partners. Our culture doesn't equip us to deal with the disappointment and grief of being with another imperfect human being. But there are things you are not going to get. This ain't Hollywood. Field of Dreams, for those of you who saw it, the most fantastic moment in that movie was not when the dead rise or when a whole baseball team comes back from the grave or when he makes peace with the most fantastic element is when he turns to his wife and says, honey, I'm going to mow down our entire farm and turn it into a baseball diamond. And she says, despite their mortgage, dear, you need to follow your dreams. Oh, really? The dead will rise before a real partner will answer that way. We are imperfect. We're not each other's mothers. We're not each other's therapists. We're not each other's archangels. We're human beings negotiating another human being. There are things you are not going to get, but what are you getting? And are the things you're getting enough? That, okay, my partner has a sex abuse history and she ain't going to be hanging from chandeliers. She ain't that kind of a lover. Do I long for my wild days? Yeah, I do. Do I love this woman to pieces? Yeah, I do. Am I willing to forgo 10 out of 10 wattage sex life and just have an 8 out of 10 wattage sex life because everything else I get is so precious? I'm more than willing. I'm grateful. Grieve what you're not getting, embrace what you are getting, and don't walk around like a big resentful victim. If the answer to the question, is it worth it to me, is no, I'm not getting enough to make all of the things not getting okay with me, then it's time to take stock and leave. Should I stay or should I go? Stress the relationship, pedal to the metal, see what it can do if you really challenge it and assert yourself. Get help if you're not getting through. Ask yourself, am I getting enough to make bearing the pain of my disappointment okay? And either let go of your pain or let go of the relationship.